The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, City of Billings Fire Department, Montana, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 36061. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. We'll get started on a brief orientation of your new vehicle. Starting on the bumper section, just under the front bumper you'll find 2 open-ended tow hooks. Moving up onto the face of the bumper, on the passenger side, unit identifier E7. Just inside of that location, passenger and driver side, dual air horns. Directly in the center, your electronic siren and PA speaker. As we move to the notch in the bumper area, just over the driver's area, you'll find a E2QB mechanical siren. Moving up to the passenger side bumper extension, you'll find your 2.5-inch swivel discharge. And as we move to the center, you'll find a tubbed storage location for your front bumper load. Let's move up onto the cab. On the outer edges, you'll find turn indicator marker lights. Just inside of that location, on the face of the cab, you'll find your headlight structure housing low and high beam headlights. The high beam will be located on the inside. Just above that structure, you'll find a turn indicator and emergency light combination. As we move to the windshield area, you'll find 3 windshield wipers across the seamless one-piece windshield. Moving to the outer edges, you'll find your mirror housing a flat and convex mirror. And moving up to the brow, you'll find clearance lights located across the top. Located in the center, you'll find a forward-facing floodlight. And as we move up onto the roof of the apparatus, you'll find your emergency warning light bar. Nestled with inside the light bar is where you'll find in the very center your Opticom device. Let's go ahead and take a look at a few close-ups of those items that we just talked about. First, let's start with the front bumper and the bumper extension. We'll take a look at the hose storage location. Let's go ahead and move around to a full view of the side of the vehicle. A little bit of snow here in Wisconsin. We'll go ahead and go through these images. Starting now with the cab section, we'll start at the front axle with a sight gauge, Alcoa wheels, and Goodyear tires. As we move to the front bumper extension, you'll find a side-facing emergency warning light on that bumper extension. As we move into the step well, you'll find an auto-eject air and also an auto-eject shoreline power. Moving up onto the A-pillar is where you'll find a turn indicator marker light. And as we move to the grab handles, you'll find door locks easily accessible with a gloved hand, and they are also keyed locks. Right next to that, you'll find the grab handle for gaining access in and out of the cab. On the driver's side, directly to the right of the grab handle is where you'll find a side-facing camera. And then as we move all the way to the very back of the truck, you'll find a emergency warning light side-facing. Next to the driver's entry area is where you'll find your water tank level LED indicator. And then as we move up to the very top, you'll find a side-facing scene light. And then to the rear section of the cab area, you'll find once again your unit identifier E7. Let's go ahead and back down to the front axle where you'll find your sight gauge located in the very center, Alcoa wheel, and Goodyear tire. Now on to the body of the apparatus. We'll start just in front of and rear of the axle is where you'll find your folding wheel chock storage location. As we move up, you'll find just in front of the axle a marker turn indicator light. And then just over the rear axle is where you'll find a side-facing emergency warning light. Moving all the way up to the very top section, you'll find 2 side-facing emergency warning lights. And then toward the rear of the apparatus on the side sheet is where you'll find a side-facing floodlight. As we move down, you'll find the 2 Scba bottle storage locations. One is a combination fuel door. Let's move around to the rear of the apparatus where you'll find your brake, turn, and reverse light. Moving up from that location, you'll have on each side, passenger and driver side, 3 emergency warning lights, and then also rear-facing scene lights. Located behind the D handle on the driver's side is where you're going to find your ladder storage compartment. This houses a 24-foot extension and 14-foot roof. Moving up, you'll find your traffic advisor. In the very center, you'll find your backup camera.
And then just to the right of this location, you'll find a 2.5-inch rear discharge. You'll find 2 additional storage locations. And at the very top section, lift and turn latch behind the diamond-plated area, you'll find backboard storage. As we move all the way to the right, you'll find your ladder, which gains access to the roof of the apparatus. Let's move around to the passenger side. Full view of the vehicle. Focus in now on the body section. Same configuration as we have for the most part on the driver as we do on the passenger side. As we move to the cab, same configuration once again. Let's go ahead and take a look at the images now with the full compartment doors open. Driver's side, rear section of the apparatus. And then we'll move around to the driver's side of the apparatus. Let's go ahead and move back now to the driver's side of the vehicle. We'll start first with the driver's entrance door. Once we gain access, affixed to the door panel, safety and warning information placards, door lock and latch combination, and then electric controlled windows for all windows previewed for the driver position. Also a grab handle located at the very top section. As we move down to the step well, auto eject for your air and also auto eject for your shoreline inlet. This is a 20 amp auto eject. When plugged into shore power, your battery voltage will become active. Also about the right ankle of the operator, you'll find this placard manufactured by Pierce for your department. Vehicle data information including date of manufacture, gross vehicle weight rating, 5-digit job number, cold tire inflation, the VIN number, all of the fluid component and fluid capacities type. As we move to the floor of the apparatus, you'll find the mechanical siren foot pedal. And then as we move just up from this location, you'll find your master battery switch. Just to the right of this, you'll find tech module, engine, transmission, and ABS diagnostic ports. These are for your service and maintenance team. Just beneath that, you're going to find your ABS diagnostics, DPF regen switch, engine diagnostics indicator, and then also a regen inhibit switch. To the right, once again, diagnostic. This is for your display port. Let's move just up from this location where you'll find your stationary OK to pump and roll indicator, water pump switch, foam system switch, and also a load manager. Moving to the far right-hand side, about the right knee, pump pressure, tank, and foam tank indicators. Moving to the left, your ignition and start switch. Just inside of that location, a switch labeled EM Emergency Master, engage, disengage all emergency lights, headlight, and panel switch, which allows you to preview lights within the operator for bright or dim. To the right, OK to engage the high idle indicator and switch. As we move down, you'll find your transmission, oil, def level, and water temperature. On the right-hand side, we're going to find volts, fuel, front air, rear air. In the center, a tachometer and speedometer. Diagnostic information will display above and also below the tachometer and speedometer. Let's move just to the right of the preview of the driver here. You'll find your yellow diamond, pull to apply your system parking brake, push to release. Those are for your rear air brakes. Also command zone, tremendous amount of information right here at your fingertips. See your owner's manual for more information. Engine brake on off, setting switch for that engine brake low, medium, and high, a mirror heat, and a siren brake, which is for your E2QB, and then also your tire chain activation. Let's move just downward from this location. You'll find your flat mirror and convex mirror control, also your system parking brake, and just above that your Allison transmission pad, digital readout push button with an informational note here to pump and neutral, and also some caution information. Climate control for heat, air conditioning, and defrost. Moving just to the upper portion over the operator's head, you'll find this yellow placard indicating the height of the vehicle, 10 feet 3 inches, length of the feet, 32 feet 3 inches, gross vehicle weight rating, 46,500 pounds. If you make any adjustments that may vary or change any of these, please update this placard for your operator. Moving just to the right, you have an emergency master, Opticom, roof light, front warning, side warning, and rear warning. When any of these light switches have been activated, the green indicator will illuminate. To the right, you have a high beam flash, front flood, driver flood, passenger side flood, rear scene light, and an air horn. Once again, any of the switches activated, the green light within the switch will illuminate. Moving just to the right, you'll find your federal signal. This is for your siren and PA speaker system. Moving further to the right, you'll find your traffic advisor. As we move to the very center, you'll find this red light indicating you have a compartment or door open and do not move your apparatus. Let's move from this location back outside of the vehicle. Just behind the driver's and passenger seat, you'll find exterior access, adjustable shelf LED lighting. We're now to the rear cab section. Once again, affixed to the door panel, we have our safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch, an individual window control, and a grab handle. As we move inside, you'll find netting into the EMS compartments and also compartment light and adjustable shelving. With inside this compartment, you'll find shoreline outlet. This outlet becomes active when plugged into shoreline power. In the very center, you have an additional netted compartment. Just beneath that, you'll find a lift and turn latch will gain you access to the rear section of your engine for your daily checks for oil and transmission. Let's move around to the rear wall where you'll find two forward-facing Scba seats. We move now to the exterior portion of the crosslay area. We'll go over the items within this area. Let's first start at the very top section where you'll find two crosslays. The forward crosslay is not foam capable. The rear crosslay for the 2.5 is foam capable. A release mechanism to release the speed lay in the center. As we move downward, you'll find a warning label regarding entanglement hazard. Because of these lines coming aloft or out from the side, there is the possibility of entanglement. Also, both of these are foam capable, the two discharges, and also release for those speed lays. Let's move from this location down to the very bottom section of the pump panel notch area. You'll find two 2.5-inch discharge. These are ball valves and they are locally controlled at the valve. Also at the very top section, you'll find a warning label regarding pressure hazard. Caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. To the right, you'll find a Pierce American Flag Eagle. This is your large diameter inlet. Also warning regarding foam failure, and do not mix different brands or consistencies for the possibility of foam failure. This is the draft tank lever and then also the inlet for your draft hose. Just beneath that, you'll find a warning regarding do not ride on the side of the vehicle. If you're climbing on the vehicle, always face the vehicle. Also a 2.5-inch auxiliary inlet, ball valve, locally controlled, and just underneath that, all of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains. As we move to the pump panel area, compartment door open at the very top section, you'll find this LED light indicating that you've properly engaged your pump and it is okay to engage the pump process. Let's move just to the left where you'll find your minimum operation maintenance schedule for 150, 200, and 250 test pressures. On the left-hand side of the placard is your associated GPM. On the right, the associated RPM at test pressure. We do have a thermostat controlled gauge heater and then also your foam A tank level indicator. As we move to the gray area, you're going to find your master intake gauge on the left-hand side and also your master discharge gauge. In between the two of those are your test gauge ports for vacuum and pressure. They are currently plugged and those are for testing purposes. As we move to the far right, you'll find the Pcm Fault LED indicator and also audible alarm. The outer edge of that bezel does allow you to dampen the sound by rotating. These are going to be your discharges. You can see they are clearly color-coded and labeled. These all are foam capable. To the right, your fire pump primer. It is a push-to-prime air for best practices, at least 1,000 RPMs. This is your pressure throttle governor and also water level tank indicator. We have two placards here, foam system instructions and also Husky 3 foam specifications. As we move to the left, a warning placard regarding only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment only after they received proper training. As we move down, you'll find your tank fill and recirculating line and tank to pump. Deluge discharge located in the center. There are a Husky foam system module located at the very top section, their operating instructions, and its use on the actual placard itself. As we move down, your truck is equipped with two electric valves for the passenger side, the number 2 passenger and the large diameter passenger. You'll also find the number 3 crosslay and rear discharge. Let's move down on the pump panel where you'll find your primer drain and all your color-coded and labeled discharge drains. As we move to the pan door, once inside, you'll find at the very bottom your manual pump shift override and then also instructions on the back of the door regarding foam fill operations. The depiction is for the yellow handle on the right-hand side for its operation. Let's move to the vertical side wall where you'll find your driver's side flood, passenger side flood, water pump, and also compartment heater. As we move now to the vertical wall, this is where your battery charger is located. When plugged into shore power, this will become active along with the shoreline outlets at the bottom section. Moving further down in the same compartment, you'll find an adjustable shelf and also a pull-out tray release mechanism located on the left-hand side. As we move to the rest of the compartments, let's start first with identifying a few of those items. We'll start first at the very front Scba bottle storage compartment. There are retaining straps for 3 Scba bottles. Goodyear tires, Alcoa wheels. As we move up from this location to the rear of the axle area, you'll find a single Scba bottle storage with retaining strap. Also your ultra low sulfur diesel fill location. It is the silver cap. As we move the flap downward, it exposes the 4.5 US gallon DEF tank. Let's move from this location now to the rear compartment where you'll find adjustable shelving and also LED lightings. There is also a shoreline outlet within this compartment. Once again, this is active when plugged into shoreline power. As we move around to the rear of the apparatus, compartment doors in the open position, we'll identify a few items within this area. First, let's start at the very top left corner of the image. This is your backboard storage. Lift and turn latch gains you access into this. 10-foot folding ladder and then 2 pike pole storage locations. As we move down from this location, your 24-foot extension ladder, 14-foot roof ladder. As we move just beneath that, you'll find the rear scene lights and then also hose bed lights, and also an informational placard regarding warning, fall hazard, never ride on the vehicle while it's in motion. As we move to the right, we have an additional warning placard, entanglement hazard. Because of those hoses coming from the loft, there is the possibility of entanglement. Also an additional warning regarding pressure hazard, caps may be under pressure, be cautious when opening them. As we move downward, you'll find your traffic advisor. Located in the center is your backup camera, and then also on the very far right in this image is where you'll find your rear discharge, 2.5 inch. Let's move down into the compartment. At the very bottom, you'll find a pull-out tray. At the upper portion, you'll find an adjustable shelf. This is your rear power supply located at the very top section. Let's move back up to the upper right-hand corner of the rear section of the truck. Lift and turn latch gains you access into this storage location. As we move down, we have some additional warning placards. First, when climbing onto the vehicle, always face the vehicle. Also, because of the ladder's ability to extend and also retract the rungs, we do have some pinch point latches warning placards. As we move around to the passenger side of the vehicle, we have an adjustable shelf and then also an adjustable tray at the very bottom. As we move forward, we have Scba bottle storage in front of and rear of, and also oxygen bottle storage. As we move to the next compartment up with the tool board, when the tool board D-handle is released, there is a lock mechanism in the upper right-hand corner on the hinge side. Scba bottle storage, once again, 3 bottles, Goodyear tires, Alcoa wheels. As we move to the forward location, we have an additional Scba bottle storage locations for 2 Scba bottles and also an oxygen bottle storage location. As we move to the exhaust area, extremely hot diesel exhaust temperatures do exist. Be cautious where you park your vehicle. Also, as we move forward, adjustable shelving and LED lighting in your first compartment here closest to the pump area. Let's move now to the midsection of the pump area. Crosslays, which we saw earlier, same configuration on the driver's side as we have on the passenger side. They are identical. Let's move down from this section into the notch of the pump panel area. We'll first start with a few warning placards. This placard is when climbing onto the vehicle, always face the vehicle while doing that. As we move to the right, you'll find your large diameter passenger side inlet. And then as we move to the upper right-hand corner, we have a warning regarding pressure hazard. Once again, caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening the caps. There are the 2 electric valves located on this side. There is an override for each one of those valves. This is your 2.5 inch discharge with override. This is your large diameter discharge with override, and those are manual overrides. As we move down, you'll find your cab lift. There are instructions for lift and lower, and also caution and danger information on that placard. Across the very bottom, all of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains. Let's go ahead and take a look at a full view of the cab section, and then we'll go ahead and go inside of the rear section of the cab. Let's start with the door panel. Affixed to that door panel, safety and warning information placard. Also door lock and latch, electric windows, and a grab handle. As we move interior, you'll find the 2 netted compartments on each side, and then one located directly in the center. You'll also find your Scba forward-facing seats on the rear wall. Looking overhead, you'll find push on or off white or red lenses, and also your air conditioning unit. As we move exterior, you'll find your compartment, exterior access, and also interior access, LED lights, and adjustable shelving. We're going to go inside now in the officer space. Again, affixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information, and also door lock and latch, electric window, and grab handle. You do have a fill location for your windshield wiper fluid on the A pillar, and your vehicle is equipped with a supplemental restraint system and airbag. Please do not mount anything within this area. As we move to the dash area, you'll find your air horn, mechanical siren, and siren brake, and also 12-volt access via barrel style. General view overhead of the officer, push on and off white or red lens. Also, your FireCom wireless headset system is located within this area. As we move just behind the seat is where you'll find your cradle point and also your unit radio. General view overhead. Let's go ahead and take a look at a few images under the truck just for perspective. This is the front section of the vehicle on the passenger side. Exhaust and tire chains, rear section of the apparatus on the passenger side, rear section on the driver's side, tire chains and exhaust on the driver's side, and then on the driver's side, front section just in front of the rear or front axle, We're now to the top of the vehicle. Let's take a look into the hose bed area. You do have a walkable hose bed cover, and then also diamond plate on each side of the hatch compartments. Let's take a look at this when it's in the closed position. We do have some yellow diamonds indicating the walking surface for firefighter safety. As we move through the next set of images, there are 4 hatch compartments located on the passenger and driver side, 2 on each, dry deck material, and also LED lighting in each of those spaces. We'll now move into the dunnage area. As you can see in the dunnage area, you'll find your water tank fill and foam tank fill for top access. On the foam tank, I would like to point out that there is a warning label regarding do not mix different brands or consistencies of foam for the possibility of foam failure. This is your water tank top fill location, master stream device, and as we move to the right, you'll find your Husky 3 foam system. This is the hydraulic oil fill location and sight gauge. As we move to the cab area, this is a non-walking surface, and that's why we have these placard information stickers regarding fall hazard. There's no railing and it may be slippery. Let's go ahead and take a look at the cab in the full tilt position. When it's in this position, you must install the safety bar located on the driver's side frame rail. As we move around, you'll find your coolant and then also power steering. We'll go ahead and go through a few of the engine photos here just for reference. Tack force suspension. This is the driver's side. Batteries just to the rear of the front axle. As we move to the top section of the under portion of the cab, as we move around to the passenger side front of the axle, tack force suspension. Once again, this is just showing the passenger side. As we move to the rear section, just to the rear of the axle, battery storage, and then back up to the under section of the cab area. Just as an informational safety point, if your engine is operational and running, therefore the Repto drive will be active and turning. That's why we have these warning placards here regarding a non-step area. General view here of your puck pump. Congratulations, City of Billings Fire Department, Montana, job number 36061, from a snowy day here in Wisconsin. Congratulations. If you have any questions, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you.